Well, two of the big three go head to head early in this Bundesliga season. It has not started well at Bayern as we return for transfer deadline day. We've basically got a shell of a squad left. We've only had one offer for a senior player, and given the amount that have been let go, I need this day to be very busy. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 82 of the head coach with me, Daniel. We are back at Bayern Munich for a big game away at Dortmund. I mean, the first Champions League game's not easy either, away at Liverpool after that. But we've got more pressing concerns than both of these games because while we are setting the pace with the big three, Dortmund included going into this one, it's transfer deadline day in Germany. It closes at 5 or 6 o'clock, so there's not many hours to go. And with our senior goalkeeper out and having played a B-team keeper the last two games and plenty of B-team subs, we desperately need senior additions. There is more money in the bank and a transfer kitty than I could even explain or contemplate, but somehow this has not been spent by what on paper is one of the best recruitment teams in the world, including a top director of football. So if you're looking forward to seeing if that changes today and the one player that he has made an offer for, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. As the title suggests, it could be a meltdown by the end of this video because we really thought we were stepping up. We looked at the staff, we saw no concerns, and it's turning into an absolute horror show. So let's go and have a look at the transfers because we have got one offer for a player in, a £20 million backup goalkeeper, which I'm not going to complain about at this point. Jonas Krumrey is a very decent keeper. He's a German player. He's worth 20 million. He's been playing for Hamburg and Dusseldorf recently. And you know what? He's very good. I'm happy to have him in. He's not going to be world class, but as a backup to Trubin and as a solid keeper for the next couple of months, I'll be absolutely thrilled with him. Good personality, tall, commanding in the air. Let's get him in and get the job done. I'd be happy with that. What that leaves us with is 175 million and 1.2 million on the wage bill per week. And still no signings coming in because since you were last here, it's got even worse. You were with me as we'd lost Gonzalo Ramos, Arthur Vermeeren. We'd also lost Aymar before we joined the club. Well, now we've lost Deo Upamecano to Chelsea. Yes, experienced. Yes, a player I'm not devastated to lose, but where's the replacement? Nowhere is the answer. Paul Vanna has gone out on loan as well. He's gone to Rennes for 1.8 million. A versatile player who filled voids in the squad and had already played off the bench for us this year. So that's a bit frustrating too. And then finally, Nazjir held the left back who was so unhappy with us. He didn't settle, but now he's gone to Porto, which is not getting him that much closer to the Netherlands. So not sure how that's going to solve his problems, but he's gone for 11 million quid. And that means that we have now lost 6 senior players this summer and not one person has come in. How do you explain that? I don't get it. We've got a world-class director of football, the best-rated technical director in the world, a recruitment team that's beyond exceptional, and tons of money, and yet no one's coming in. I don't understand it. We go into deadline day. Well, what time does it close? 6 p.m. We've got 10 hours remaining. There's not even a link for anyone else coming in. Can I just show you this very quickly? Our senior squad, if I can get it up, because we've had to put a youth player on the bench there. The goalkeeper is from the B team. If you take those two out, we've got what there? 6 subs and 10 starters. That's a 16-man senior squad. I genuinely have no idea what's happening. I'm baffled. How as a senior team can you look and go, we've let 6 players go. Oh, we don't need to sign anyone. No, we don't need to do any work. I can't fathom that. And it's something that's really getting me with this FM because in Japan, our director of football was always working, certainly at our first 2 clubs. Our director of football at Marseille was okay, was certainly active. Our director of football at Bournemouth, Mike Phelan, was exceptional, was always replacing players let go. And here there's just nothing. I do not understand it for the life of me. And if we're left with this squad, yes, the goalkeeper solves an immediate problem. We'll have 16 or 17 players. We'll have the Champions League, the Bundesliga, the Cup. We're at the point with one of the biggest clubs in world football where we're going to have to prioritise, and that just doesn't work out for me. If you add to that on a schedule that we've been handed a pretty awful Champions League draw, I mean, our 8 games include Liverpool, Monaco, who we saw was strong last year, Midtjylland away, but away from home's not ideal. Then Juventus, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Valencia, Dortmund. Someone tell me how that's worked out on a coefficient when Bayern are already in the top 10. That seems very, very strong and odd to me. But having said that, we are unbeaten so far this year. You saw the cup win off camera last time. You saw the 1-0 win against Mainz on camera. We then drew 1-1 at Gladbach thanks to Filippo Mane's equaliser. We dominated late on but couldn't get the goal. And of course, we've got a B-team keeper, so weren't able to keep him out. We did get another clean sheet at home. Again, not convincing. Ribeiro with the early goal and then Marquinhos off the bench with a late one to make it 2-0. Injuries as well. Rodrigo Ribeiro has got a knock. He's out for a few days, but will be a bit of a doubt for this weekend. And we know Trubin's out long term, leaving us with no senior keeper. So 10 hours to go on deadline day. A goalkeeper does appear to be arriving, but God knows we need some outfield players. And at the minute, I'm not seeing where they come from. Right then, I'm not sure whether it's worth getting excited about yet because there are offers for youth players clearly there. We've got an offer for Mane, which God I hope isn't accepted. And then we've got this offer for Erbig that we've made, but is it for a senior player? Please say it is. Let's have a look at him. It's another goalkeeper. Oh, don't do this to me. Now we've gone from not having any goalkeepers at senior level and we're just going to sign loads of them. Have 3 goalkeepers and then 14 outfield players instead. Another 20 million quid for Jonas Erbig, only 29, German. Probably better than the last one if I'm being honest. He's a great keeper. But why on earth did you wait till deadline day? And now why on earth are you trying to sign both of them? It doesn't make any sense. So let's get them in. Hopefully then get senior players on pitch. Filippo Mane, bid rejected. That's a start. He wants to go. We'll let Freund chat to him. We could be down to 14 again. Ozturg rejected offers. Hubert rejected offers. Probably going to need these youth players now. So we might need to keep them at the club. Please let something happen other than goalkeepers. So we're going to spend 40 million on 2 backup keepers and have no senior players at the club. What an unbelievable deadline day. Even I, and we've seen some horror shows over the years, even I didn't think this could be this bad. Well, from bad to worse is the answer here because Filippo Mane is now off to Manchester United for 26 million quid. A very good backup defender, scored an equaliser in a league game, scored in a cup game, and has been involved in every single match off the bench so far as well. I just don't get it. I genuinely don't know what's happening. That will be 7 senior outfield players sold with no replacements, not even a bid for one. And only 7 hours of the window to go. I mean, I think you can tell I'm at a loss for an explanation, but I'm genuinely a little bit speechless here. I don't know what to say. And I don't understand how it's happening. Let's continue, see if we get the keepers in, and then just hope there's a late spree. But who knows? I don't see it coming. Well, in addition to Mane now being sold to United, we have had a youth offer accepted as well. Hubert off to Hoffenheim by the looks of it for around 300 grand. He's not a great player, but we need what we can get at the minute. We might not even be able to fill a bench with a B team the way we're going. 6 hours remaining. The keepers still aren't in. There's still no outfield offers, and I am utterly furious. So let's just get through it. Well, we return with 9 messages, and for a minute I got excited, but it's not. It's just youth players going out on loan, contract changes, there's nothing else. How on earth are we in this position? No! That's the youth player who was good enough for the senior team. Wolfgang Kriegmeier. He was the one that was on the bench for us. We've even lost our best B team player. He's got 5 caps for Germany. He's a very good player. And he came off the bench in the last league match. And now he's gone as well. Oh, this is an absolute disaster. 5 hours to go. I might want to resign from here. We might be starting the alternate head coach sooner than we know. We have got a goalkeeper in. Hubert's left the club. Crumray has joined. 2.5-star ability. 20 million for what will be a 3rd choice keeper seems odd, but we'll take it for now. He comes to the club. Pino will welcome him. And we'll just hope, because Erbig should be the next one in. And then there's 4 hours to hastily panic buy some senior pros. Well, 3 hours remaining. Still no senior offers. We've rejected a few more for youth players, but Can someone please? I just don't get it. Someone please. How can an elite club let 7 senior outfield players go and not see the need to sign anyone? How can they go into deadline day with a 15-man senior squad of outfield players and be happy? It really doesn't make sense to me. There's a point where realism breaks down, and it's not the fact that this is happening, because we've had this or close to this before at the head coach, but we've had it at clubs with poorer setups. This is an elite super club with brilliant staff, with loads of money. And more importantly than all of that, the big features announced for FM24, the reason we brought the head coach back again this year is because they said this was the thing that had been improved. What's realistic about leaving Bayern Munich with a 14-man squad? Let's go and get through the final 3 hours. We expect Erbig to come in. And after that, I'm just going to throw my toys out the pram because I am so unhappy with this. It's unreal. Someone please tell me that this isn't happening. PSG have made an offer for Desiree Doué, which has been accepted, 40 million quid. We've also now lost Ramadani, a homegrown player who was a senior centre-half, for 16 million. We're going to have 12 outfield players. 45 minutes. We've not even signed the bloody goalkeeper. This could be the smallest squad I've ever had in a head coach. This is a joke. 6 items in the inbox. Didn't even get the goalkeeper Erbig done. Doué's gone to PSG. The wage expenditure is still the highest in the league. We have signed 1 backup goalkeeper this summer. Left 200 million of transfer budget unused. And sold, how many is that now? It was 6. It's now 7 with Mane, 8 with Ramadani, 9 with Doué, 10 with the loan of Craigmeyer. 10 senior outfield players have left the club, and we have not made a bid for one to replace them. Someone at SI, surely, this is ridiculous. I don't care where you're talking about the realism. This just isn't right. For an elite super club with unbelievable staff to leave that as a senior squad. And it's not even that, because Sani is an under-23 player that's been promoted. So let's get him back in there. How many players are out injured? Just Trubin, isn't it? So let's get rid of the one that's not at the club. That leaves us with 10 outfield players and 3 subs. We have got 13 outfield footballers and 2 goalkeepers, one of which is long-term injured. This can't be right. It just doesn't make sense. And I know that you will be sitting here saying, well, that's what you get sometimes. And maybe, you know, this is what you get for going to an elite club too early. But forget about all of that. This is the dynamics of Football Manager in a transfer market. 14 players left at the club at senior level. 13 outfield players and 1 fit goalkeeper. And not the fact that it's due to financial struggle or anything. 250 million transfer budget remaining. 1.6 million wage budget. I think this is the worst I've ever seen for realism in FM. And that's something, based on the types of saves I like to do, that really worries me. I don't see and look at that and see how we can do a head coach in future years, because that is ridiculous. I think you can tell I'm unhappy. I think the meltdown has officially happened. Now we've got to play Dortmund and Liverpool away in a space of 3 days. We're showing the Dortmund one on camera. I mean, our other director of footballs have been good. What's caused this? There's no sense around what's happening here. So let's just get through to the Dortmund game. I am so deflated, I can't explain. And it's ruined the season, because you can't compete with that. And I have no idea how we're supposed to now. This is officially going to be a disaster. And when we don't win a league, if I get sacked, I will be absolutely apoplectic. Let's go and get through the Dortmund away and try and avoid defeat. Because at least if we can keep this 10 fit in the Bundesliga, we'll do all right. We're going to have to throw the Champions League if we've got any chance of winning the German title. Well, we've got to register our Champions League squad. I wonder if we'll be able to squeeze them all in here. Oh, we've got 15 players there. We've just about made it. Any in the second team that are not under 21 that we need to put in, because we're going to need anyone that's available at the minute. There's 23-year-old there. Is anyone else under the age? No, they're all alright apart from that. Under 19 should all be young enough, I would assume. And I can't believe I'm doing this for a genuine Champions League squad, although they are all under 21. So there we go. That's what we're going with. Oh, this is ridiculous. I think if any of you were wondering why FM's maybe a little easy for you this year, this is what the AI does a few years in. They can't build a squad. They leave you with 14 or 15 players, and the AI manager's got no chance. That's why we keep seeing all of those empty benches in those European games, isn't it? Because Bayern, one of the best clubs in the world, are leaving themselves with about 15 players. You can't expect much more. This is no longer a game of realism. This is a game of arcade. So let's just go and have fun and hope we don't get any injuries. Back for Dortmund in a moment. Let's all have a laugh on the eve of the game. Dylan Sanchez injured for 2 weeks. He will miss 4 games, I think, as a result of that. Yes, he will. Monaco, Liverpool, Frankfurt and Dortmund. So we're now down to 12 outfield senior players, and one of them, Matthias de Ligt, is unhappy at our failure to strengthen the first team squad in goal. The one bloody area we did spend money on and invest and improve the squad. Oh, it's all falling apart. Something has gone very, very wrong. And something doesn't add up in the FM algorithms, because this is actually a joke at this point. I've got to be honest with you. I want to play the game, but I know we're going to get hammered. And if we get 2 more senior injuries, we can't name a senior squad. Back in a moment to find out if we can avoid it. Well, it's time for kickoff against Dortmund, and you'll be pleased to know that Rodrigo Ribeiro has not made it either. So I make that 11 outfield players we've got to choose from now. This is going to be ridiculous. Alphonso Davies is fit. We've got another game in 3 days, and I'm almost questioning now, do I change the playing style to try and protect the players physically, or do I just hope for the best? We've got to go away to one of the toughest teams in the league. They've got loads of players, I'm sure. I mean, let's see what we can put out here. We have got Crumney, who's fit as a goalkeeper. They've given us 5 greyed out players. So clearly the game can see that we're short of first team squad players. The game is noticing, you've not got enough players to field a team. But our director of football, our scouting team, no, you'll be fine. You just play on with the 11 you've got. This is just a different kind of silly. We have got 3 players on the bench at the minute. However, Ribeiro and Sanchez can't play, so Helson's in on the left, Hervenhov's in up front, and Marquinhos is, as it stands, the only substitute. I have never ever seen anything like it. There was a year, I think, FM20, where we had 2 senior subs at Kettering, and I thought, you know what, it's not ideal. But we had a youth team of players that weren't that far off the level, and it was a Kettering club in financial chaos at the bottom of the National League North. It made sense. This is just scandalous for a super club. Let's have a look at the second team and see who we can put in. Sani started the last 2 games in goal. He'll be there today. I mean, even the best player out of this squad is gone now. So we're talking about 2-star and 1.5-star players. We've got Minkwitz, who's a striker, who's okay. He can go up front as the sub. McKendy as a sub-winger I've had on here before. Markovic as a midfielder, again, is average. We're talking maybe top-end League 1 level in England, these sort of players. Nawa is a wing-back. He can go on the bench as well. Marquinhos will put in his actual position too. I'm just trying to get a bit of balance on here as well. There's a centre-half who's not great, but he'll go on there. We've got now a complete wing-back. I'd argue he's better than the one we just looked at, to be fair. He'll go on there initially as the first choice. We've got Eduardo as a midfielder. There's 2 more places to go. I'm trying to find balance here. We've not really got anything in centre midfield. That's where my biggest concern is for now. This guy is pretty good, so I think he's going to have to go on. And I'm going to put the other wing back as well, because Markovic can play in centre midfield. And that at least gives us an option there. This is the worst situation I've ever had at a top level club. It's the worst situation I've ever had, full stop, in the head coach. For me, it's the evidence I needed that this series isn't going to work anymore the way FM's set up. And this is the 11 we've gone for. Marquinhos is the only senior sub. Everyone else who's fit plays. Crumry makes his debut, the new goalkeeper. Fernandez and Davis, the fullbacks, with Korsavich and an unhappy de Ligt at centre-half. Zabaya and Lewis Skelly, the midfield too. I saw that Lewis Skelly had been offered a new deal. I think he might have signed it now. We've got Pino, Helson and Wirtz, the attacking midfield 3. With Hervenhov, the third choice striker. at the start of the season when we came here, now on his own up front as the second choice and the only one who's fit. Let's go and get through to our game against Dortmund with 4 subs getting a squad number, including a goalkeeper who makes his debut and loads of youth players who are having to be filling the bench. This is, oh, it's a joke. I mean, we've just got to try and laugh our way through it because this could get me very angry this season. We look at the Dortmund squad. Yep, there's a lot of numbers that suggest senior players in that team, but to be fair, they've got a few good players as well. They're one of the best sides in the division. Let's go and carry on after our last performance, which was rock solid if nothing else, and just try and keep this respectable, because if we could win a Bundesliga title in this situation, it would be my greatest ever achievement. But to do so, I'm going to have to risk everything and throw away the Champions League, play 3 or 4 of those youth players from the start, and probably give up the German Cup as well. So if it doesn't come off, we're then in big trouble. 20 minutes gone though. We're doing what we've done this season so far. We've made the games boring and we've kept it tight. As Florian Wirtz, free kick from distance, tipped over the bar. It's a corner kick. And at the moment, it's just about not conceding. I'd snap your arm off for a draw here. I'd absolutely love it. As Korsavich in at the front post. Doesn't direct the header. It's comfortably over the bar. And it stays 0-0 in this absolutely crazy game. De Ligt has got a booking. I mean, I'm just praying we don't get injuries, because what do you do? We've only got 1 sub. We cannot afford to lose people. We've got 2 minutes to the break. It's been a pretty even game. We've not seen much from either side. Really, just a couple of set pieces were the highlights. And otherwise, we've done okay. So I'm going to pump the fists. I'm going to say exact revenge on them. Get them motivated. And we're going straight from the kickoff with Hervenhoff, the young striker. I mean, the one good thing I'll say, and I'm trying to look for positives here, is the likes of Sabaya, Korsavich, Hervenhoff, Helson. They're young players that will improve with football, but they'll also tire a bit quicker, as we've given the ball away with a 5-yard pass. Sabaya, one of those, and he's conceded it there. Through ball to Nasty's, 1-on-1. How has he missed that? I mean, what Crumry's doing, I don't know. He's dived past the goalpost on the other side. We get away with one as Fernandes throws into Pino. Fernandes again. Lewis Skelly back to Helson. Forced back to the edge of the box, and it's a poor ball back. Korsavich gets there first for Alphonso Davies. In he goes. Off the post. Pino. Wide into the side netting. It could have been the smash and grab. It could have been the goal. But it's 2 very good chances missed. 1 off the woodwork, 1 wide. And in the second half, we have been the better team. But again, we're starting to tire now. And there is nothing else there to show. I'm going to encourage the boys. I'm going to leave most of the subs late. Pino will be the first one off because he's knackered. He'll be replaced by Marquinhos. I mean, who else can I take off? I'm bringing on youth players from this point forward. I'm going to have to be very careful with it and leave it till late. You can see there's people who have given everything. And we'll make some subs with 5 to go. It might cost us the game, but I feel I've got to go for it here. So at left back, we've got Philip Altus, who's not bad at all. But again, we're talking about not bad as a maybe second division player, not Bayern Munich level. Markovic in midfield potentially. Nauer could be one as well. He's okay as a holding midfielder. Markovic, probably a little better, so we might go for him. Or maybe he replaces Wirtz. It does leave me with very few options here, doesn't it? I'm just trying to work out who's the best in each area. So right, Minkwitz will come on for Wirtz. Markovic will come on for Lewis Skelly. No idea what his best position is. That's probably it. And then the only other sub remaining, I've got Fernandes struggling at right back, but no one to bring on. I could go for McKendy, but he plays the same position as Marquinhos. I'm just going to leave it at that. There's no point taking silly risks. 5 minutes to go, and I'm bringing on 3 youth players against Dortmund to try and hold on for a point away from home, which would be a great one. But the hosts are on the front foot, and this could be heartbreaking. Santi on the right beats his man. Don't be a penalty. Altus gets in. Great defending, lad. Well done. Down the line to Helson. Has support. Goes back to Korsavich. Just don't give it away doing something silly. Sabaya again. Gave it away last time, but that ball's good to Helson. Down the line he goes. He's run out of steam, and he runs straight into an opposition player. Offender goes back to his keeper, and this will probably be it. We just don't want to see the goal go in. It's a big ball over the top, and it's the experienced centre-halves that have lost their man. And after all the worries about youth players, it is Matthias de Ligt and Fernandes who make the mistake. That is scandalously bad. Marquinhos will switch sides with McKendy coming on. What a goal to be beaten by. A straight ball over the top, which just flies past De Ligt and Fernandes, who are in no man's land, dreaming. And it's cost us the game. This is going to be a long season. I mean, I cannot get over the position we're in. I genuinely cannot get over it. What on earth do I do now? Liverpool in 3 days. I'll have to rotate half of this squad. God knows who's going to start. I genuinely can't believe I'm in this position. I need to know in the comments, have any of you ever been put in this situation? Lewis Skelly and Ribeiro. And I'm not talking at like Kettering level, National League South, lower leagues in Scotland, whatever. An elite super club to sell 10 senior players and not sign a replacement. Surely that's a sign the game's broken. We've been left with 14 players, 13 senior outfielders. And we just can't cope. What on earth are we going to do? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you would do. Would you change style a bit? Would you try and protect players? Would you just throw the Champions League? I'm genuinely at a loss as to what I do here because as you've seen today, 2 injuries and we've not even got a subs bench. I've never seen anything like it in this save. We've had our moments, we've had tough times, but this is actually a joke. And it's really making me question FM for the first time properly. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed this one, my frustration, my meltdown, I think justified on this occasion. And please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below to stay up to date with this season. Turn that notification bell on to make sure you don't miss a single meltdown. I'm actually at the stage now where if a job comes up in October, November, I'm going to look for it. Because not in a million years could I have imagined this. We joined a brilliant squad, but to sell 10 of it, no top elite super club sells 10 players in a summer to start with. Because they want to keep the squad just churning over with 4, 5 or 6 at most. There's some questions to be answered for by SI, and I think next season, I think if we needed any confirmation, there won't be a head coach because this is the silliest thing I've ever seen. For now, though, thank you very much for watching. You can find the Southend save where mercifully I'm in charge of transfers tomorrow. The biggest game of the save. Make sure you don't miss it. And a much nicer way to end the week. Hopefully, a more positive finish anyway. The playlist so far for that one is in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel and the football podcast where we've got a really busy weekend. Come and get your predictions in for the Premier League and Championship. But thank you very much for being here, for joining me for an official meltdown. An absolutely awful start to the season off the pitch. Forget what happened on it. The transfer window is the biggest joke I've ever seen in this game, and I've been playing it for 20 years.